Hi, welcome to Tuesday's vlog. Today I want to show you behind the scenes of where I work. So I'm going to take you around the churches that I work in, around my office, but I want to start off above where I work. It's a place called Prince's Risborough. We're standing up on a place called Whiteleaf Hill, above a cross that's carved into the side of the hill, and it's very iconic. You can see it for miles. So just down below us is Prince's Risborough. This is where I work and live. This is a main part that you see in front of you, Prince's Risborough. Just to the right is a place called Monk's Risborough. That's the oldest parish in England, so the first one ever to be set up. And you see it's really flat because the Chiltern Hills start at Prince's Risborough really and across. So behind me, it's all very hilly, and this is really flat going over to Oxford. On a really clear day you can see Didcot over there, and Oxford's just straight in front as well. So let's go down and see the churches are working. So just a bit of context, my boss David looks after 8 churches, but we only really work in 2. We have a team of retired vicars and another full-time vicar that look after either 1, 2 or 3 churches. So we have St Mary's and St Peter's, and St Mary's is the bigger church, St Peter's is a smaller church, and that's where my curacy is based. So a curacy is basically I'm training to be a vicar, and you go to theological college for 2 years or 3 years, and then you do a curacy, so you're basically on the job training and you're still studying as well, and this is where I am at the moment. So curacies last for 3 years, and then you've got a year to find a job, and I'm just halfway through my last year before I have to start looking for another role. So let's go St Mary's and show you behind the scenes there. So this is St Mary's, the main church that I serve in. There's a couple of videos. If you click the links now, you'll be able to see how we do the different services in there, but they've just had a service now, but today I want to show you what it's like behind the scenes in the office. So this is a working office. So
Jill did some quizzes. Oh no, it's a half.
Say hello to Dan.
say hello to YouTube.
No, I don't want to.
You're on there.
You've got to be on it. You've got to say hello.
Oh,
to... And of course, Ryan, our outstanding
We can
children's and youth worker.
We can edit him out, don't worry.
What do you mean?
How many videos you watched, David?
2.
2. How many videos are out there, David?
I guess there must be 5 if you've done one a week for the last 6 weeks and you've done this week.
How many videos?
2 a week.
2 a week.
Oh,
He's
there's
got
2 a
that.
week.
2 a week, and he's been doing it for 6 weeks.
There must be,
So 12.
be 12 up there then.
Is there 12?
Something.
No. Is there really?
What do I do on a Tuesday, David? What do I do on a Friday, David?
Yeah. So.
Lots of editing.
The Tuesday is the sort of day in the life of Dan, and the Friday is the apologetics.
Oh, well, there you go. That's
Yes,
good.
I have redeemed
well
myself.
done, well done.
So this is
See, I really am caring and interested in my cura.
You are.
so this is where everything goes on.
Even in his latest.
You can see that Catherine is the work extraordinaire and David is the coffee drinker extraordinaire, sitting there. So it's Catherine that actually runs the show. What's that?
I only have 1 mug of coffee a day.
Exactly.
So
That's why you're efficiently working rather than him.
The whole time.
I know. You see, she has
I
been
can
working.
switch off.
Whereas we
Think,
have been.
What is that drivel
I'm
going
working.
on in the background?
By doing this YouTube.
Yes, and that's, you've obviously worked out the tactic for us ages ago.
So this is St Mary's, the main church that I serve in. The pillars that you see on the left and right hand side, the hexagonal ones, are from 1250. This church is really old, very beautiful. They redid the floor a few years ago, put underfloor heating in, so this church is really lovely and warm, and really good in the winter. And I just want to show you this just here. This thing here is the consecration cross. So when the church was first built, it was consecrated by the bishop, and that's probably from around the late 1200s, I guess. We do 2 different services here, a traditional one and a contemporary one. Click on the link to see the video, and this is the view that we have when we're preaching. The pulpit is about 500 years old. We have a music area as well as a organ for our different services. Oh, look at this stunning window. The windows aren't old like in most other churches, but this is really beautiful. This is the oldest part of the church. So I've just come outside to show you this. A few years ago they built on the back of the church what's called the chapter house. It's where we've got the office that we was just in. It's got another office to the left hand side. And at the top we've got a room which we use for meetings, and we also rent it out for other people, and there you can see the church which it's connected to. It makes the church a lot more functional and usable, especially having a dedicated office in there. So now I'm taking you to our sister church, St Peter's in Aylmer. This is a really small, beautiful church in a really small village. So I did say in my first video that I tell you how I got my tag name, Mono Inglés. It comes from my wife being from Colombia, and when I used to go over there in the early days of us getting together, when I walked down the street, if people were begging for money, they would call me Mono, because I was white and my hair was a lot blonder then. So Mono kind of stuck. But I also had, because my English accent got called gringo a lot, and obviously that's a slang for American, and not being American I kept always saying, oh no, soy inglés, I'm English. So when the internet was coming a lot bigger into my life, I put those together and had Mono Inglés. I know a lot of people call it Mono Ingles, but that's okay. And to be honest, nobody uses Mono Inglés out there, so I managed to get all my Twitter and all those feeds. So this is the other church out in the village of Aylmer. This is called St Peter's. Again, this is just as old, I think, as St Mary's, the main church that I serve in. You can see I used to do archaeology, so I love looking at archaeology and looking how things adapted. You can see a doorway that was there that's been bricked up. You know how the church changes, and just below the window maybe there was a door or a larger window there that's the bottom's been bricked up. How things change over time and how things are adapted for use as it gets bigger. But I love this church. It's so peaceful and tranquil out here. So that was the back of the church, and this is the front of the church, as it were, with the entranceway there. St Peter's in a very small village. It's very quiet. There's a few houses around, but to be honest, it's very expensive to live here, and it's quite secluded, so you don't get a lot of traffic through, but it's beautiful. So let's go inside. It's quite dark in here as the lights kind of warm up. Because the church is so small, when we hold services here, they are amazingly intimate and really special. Eyes at the back, that Celtic cross is the symbol that I use on my logo at the start and end of the videos. All the services that we have here are using our clerical robes. You can click on the link to see a day in my life, and you can see what people look like in our robes. So now I want to show you my office. This is where I spend a lot of time working. Got a lot of things in here to remind me of things. You can see the posters on the wall. Now, they all mean something to me, and they're all special. I changed my office around the other day. I'll come in so you can see. I used to have the desk over there in the corner where the chair is, and this table next to it. I'm not the tidiest worker, and in changing around the office, I created a sofa full of stuff to be sorted out, but that's for me to sort out soon. So let me show you some of the things that I have in my office. This, when I had this part here, when I had my chair here, just below, was a prayer area. That's why you got things about prayer. And if you see down here, you got the picture of the Celtic cross from St. Peter's, where we've just been to. So this was always a prayer area, and now it's where I record some of my videos, because you can recognize the bookcase in the background. Over here I've got my plans on what I'm going to do on different days, well, kind of ideas. Here in front, just here, is my first sermon that I ever preached. My mentor died last year, and I just felt it'd be nice to put it up, and it reminds me as well. And all these pictures and quotes and things like that mean something to me in some way or another. There's a picture of just here, me and my wife on our wedding. One of my favourite pictures, a picture of my mum just there and my dad there. So over here, these are do a lot of running. These are my medals. Here's the coolest one. Well, in fact, I got two. They're from different years of a 50k run, one this year and one last year. And I'm going to do that again next year. Over here, this is something I put on my wall about being called, and I read it once a month, and it scares the hell out of me. It's about our calling to the job, and it really is a challenge. Down here, this is what my sister-in-law made me when I got ordained 2 years ago, that I could preach a better sermon with my life than with my lips. That's something that her dad always said to her. So, and this is my desk. This is where I do a lot of the editing for the YouTube, a lot of writing for my sermons and my essays and things like that. All up here at the school. I got a star of the week for running a marathon, and a head teacher's award for a 50k run, which my son hadn't at that point got a star of the week or head teacher's award, but so I challenged him, and now he's got both, which is awesome. So now it's about how many we can get by the end. So this is my office. This is where you can spend quite a lot of time just getting things done and written, and this is an area that most people don't see, and all the work that goes in here, most people never know. So, but this is why I wanted to show you behind the scenes of the churches I are working and the office, so you kind of get an idea that there are always lots of things going on in the background.